for the sense of belonging. Some people die before they fulfill their desires. Such a waste of existence. Waste of existence. We spend our life searching for the sense of belonging. Some people die before they fulfill their desires. Such a waste of existence. Waste of existence.
The sun is shining and the anxious earth is rising. Anxious earth is rising. I'm so happy.
Spend our life searching for the sense of belonging. Some people die before they fulfill their desires. Such a waste of existence.
Okay, video ran out. Hey, welcome to Double Triple Channel. I'm just browsing Twitch here, see what's going on. There's some really good streamers out there that I'm missing right now. I was just looking, oh no, I got to do my stream, but there's some really cool streamers out there that I want to watch. But I was going through the science and technology category, which I think I am in right now. I'm streaming in. But I don't see my own stream out there, so I don't know if I'm live or not. Let's see here. Maybe it hasn't updated yet. Alright, let me go back to my channel. See if I'm live. Alright, it says I'm live, I think. Yep. Yeah, I am live. It's not as loud as my music, though. It's just the way this mic works, I guess. Oh, also, let me hang on just a second. I've got a fan going here. Let me turn that off. There we go. I was blowing out this. Put a fan in the window, you know, and blow out outside air in to try to get it fresher in here. But when I did that, I got some pollen or mold or something that I was allergic to. So I had to run a fan with a filter. Yeah, the problem is that, I've got my, remember this thing, this guy up here, my solar powered air purifier. And it works great, but there's only one problem. It doesn't work when the sun isn't out. So I blew all this air from the outside in here, and it got all those pollutants, allergens and stuff. And so instead, I used just a plain old box fan. Here, I can show you what it looks like here. And this actually has something to do with the topic today too. And I'll tie that in. Let me just show you this. I just take a box fan like this, see? And I take one of these air filters, and there's an arrow that says which way to put it, 20 by 20. Put it on there and turn it on. And that's it. And the suction holds it on there really good, and it really filters the air quickly and thoroughly. You can clear out pollutants out of a small room in just a few minutes, so it's really pretty good. And that's using one of those electrostatic filters, which has to do with voltage, right? That's what we're talking about. Well, let me introduce the stream here. Yeah, this is Double Triple Stream. I'm streaming live on Twitch on the Double Triple channel. My name is Ron, and I live in rural New Hampshire. I'm surrounded by forests and wild animals and stuff. It's pretty cool. And I'm kind of a variety streamer. Most of my stuff is science and technology. Like tonight is going to be science and technology. Real sciencey tonight. But last night I streamed a movie, sci-fi movie called Transcendence. You guys probably heard of that one. I streamed that last night, so that'll be in my VODs. In fact, I just uploaded it to YouTube if they haven't censored it yet. What else? I also do news. So far, every Monday I do news, and I might do that 2 days a week too, because news, if it's a week old, then it's no longer news, right? So news, and maybe what else do I talk about? Civics, science. Sometimes I go IRLing, take an IRL outside somewhere. A lot of stuff. Variety streamer. So what I'd like to do today is talk about high voltage stuff. Voltage, electricity. And do some experiments, actual live experiments here. I don't know how much, if they're really experiments, but just demonstrations, experiments, whatever. Show some high voltage on stream. And I'm going to do it in a safe way, so I don't endanger myself. Even if you duplicate what I'm doing here, you won't endanger yourself. So this is going to be safe. It's high voltage, but it'll be safe. So I think we're Twitch Twitch TOS compliant here for now, anyway. So you may notice. Let's see what. Before I get going, I gotta thank some people here. I have this thing set up yet. I'm not. What do they call it? Affiliate. They have different levels on Twitch, and I'm beginner, I guess, or whatever you call it. I'm not anything. I'm just streaming. I just begin. It's just a baby streamer. So and you have to get a certain number of followers. 50 followers. I have 32 followers, so I don't have enough followers yet. And then I also have to get so many viewers, and there are a few things that you got to do. And then once you get affiliate, then they let you do more stuff, and like channel points and presumably alerts. I can't get alerts to work, and I'm assuming it's because I'm not affiliated. affiliate yet. Not sure. They don't make it very easy with the user interface and all that to tell whether something is just not there because I don't know how to use it, or not there because I'm affiliate. When you're affiliate, they don't show things in the menus. You know, instead of showing something in the menu that says, yeah, turn on alerts, you know, or whatever, and then you try to do it and it says, oh wait, you're not affiliate yet, you can't do it yet. They just don't show it on the menu at all. So that makes it kind of hard to figure out what I'm doing here, especially when you're a beginner, to figure out if it's, you know, what the reason is why something is not working. But anyway, alerts don't work, so when somebody follows me, I don't know about it until later. I just happen to see it somewhere. You know, I get a notice or something. So I got some followers here the last week or so that I don't think I've acknowledged yet, so I want to acknowledge them on stream. It's InfoXR or InfoZar. That's Jack the Magician. He followed me a while ago. And I think I followed him I thanked him on his stream, but I didn't thank him on my stream. So thank you, Jack, for following me. And the Twitch user For Me To Know followed me a little over a week ago. Thank you for following me. For Me To Know. And then Alchemutation followed me a few days ago, and I thanked him on somebody else's stream. I think it was Jack's stream when he followed me, but I don't think I've thanked him on my stream yet. So thank you, Alchemutation, for following me. And Twitch user the Feisty 167 followed me. Thank you for following me. So all I need is 18 more, and then I can try to be an affiliate. It takes another 30 days after that, I think. So, all right, now we'll get to the stuff here. I don't know if you've noticed, back here in the background, I've got something called a plasma globe, or plasma ball, or plasma globe. And I think that will be our first thing that we mess around with. Or maybe you know what? Let me, while I have the lights on, let me mess around with a little bit of pretty simple stuff. Static electricity. And this is I don't know how many volts this is, but this is I'll put this on. What I have here now is I'm going to take. You've probably seen this before. Okay, this is just shipping tape. It's like Scotch tape or whatever, right? It's shipping tape. And then I have little pieces of paper here. These little pieces of tissue paper that are really light. That I think will, and I'll just rip off pieces of them like this. See, this is tissue paper. So I'll take little pieces of this tissue paper and rip them up and put them on the on my desk here. Alright, just have a piece of paper on my desk, but I'll just put them on my desk. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Should work. And then so now what I'll do is I will take a piece. So this is our first experiment in static electricity, which can be really high voltage. It can be lots and lots of volts, but not much current. And this is the first electricity. And I'll point this down here so you can see it. All right. Can you see that? Those little staticky things there, little pieces of paper. Where am I at here? Okay, those got to go this way. There we go. I think you can see it now. Whoops. There you go. All right, let me make sure that my mic is still working. Yeah, my mic is still working. Always got to check that. You never know. So what I'm going to do, first I'm going to focus my camera so you can see what I'm doing. All right, focus. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay. Do I have anything written on there that no, I don't think I got anything. I got passwords or something written on my desk here. Whoops. No, there's nothing under that's. All right, let's see here. All right, there we go. So, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of this shipping tape and I'll pull some out. And rip it off. So I have some shipping tape here. And I'll bring it close to these guys. And paper has one type of charge, and plastic has another type of charge. I forget which is plus and which is minus. We'll look that up later. But they're opposite. One is plus and one is minus. And what happens? Opposites attract. You've heard that before. That's a real physical thing. Opposite charges attract each other, and like charges repel each other. So as I get this towards those little pieces of paper, I didn't practice this, so I hope it works. But as I get this towards those pieces of paper, they should jump up onto the... There they go. See that? See them? Look at that. See, they just come right up onto the plastic as I get close to it. But when I touched it, see, then they kind of discharged. So that's you've probably done this accidentally, right? You've taken a piece of tape and you wanted to tape maybe two small pieces of paper or something, and you pull out the tape and you start getting the tape towards it, and it just jumps up and messes up, and you can't get it. So that's kind of a problem. If you've ever done that, I'm sure you've done that before, right? If you've done any kind of little craft work or hobbies or anything like that, where you have a small piece of paper and you want to tape it, right? And so you take the piece of tape and you get it close, and you have it just lined up just right, and then as you get close to it, it jumps up and gets all messed up and sticks to the thing and ruins your whole thing. The way you fix that is after you pull the tape out of the dispenser, you just rub it on your shirt or something, and that will discharge it, and it shouldn't. Oh, I screwed up there. That'll discharge it. Look at this. I did the opposite. Look at this. So I've got the wrong charge here. But that should discharge what you're doing. But I just did it here, and instead it made it even worse. Look at this. Watch this. They all jump up on there. Look at that. Let me turn here. I'll rub it on my shirt, and then we'll get God damn this. Let me rip this off here. Hang on just a second. There we go. All right, so I'm rubbing this tape on my shirt, and then we're going down here and we're looking at this. There we go. Look at that. Wow. They just dance around. But once I touch them, kind of, they let go. So what that is, here, there we go. That's now, believe it or not, the adhesive part of the tape, that's electricity too. You may not know that. Glue is electricity. The sticky on the tape is electricity. Just about everything is the electromagnetic force. The reason why water sticks to things, you know how water beads up on stuff and sticks to it, even like on the side of the wall or anything. That's electricity too. Electromagnetic force. All right. Now, when I rubbed it on my shirt, that was called the triboelectric force. Triboelectric, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. So let me bring up a Wikipedia page on that so we can learn a little bit about that, what that is. There we go. Right, so this is the triboelectric force. And they get this cute picture here. Look at this. There's Kitty. So you probably, I don't know if you've had your cat do that before, but that happens to me every time I get something that's packed in those little peanuts, you know. And you open up the box and they just get all over the place. They stick to you. They stick to the package. You know, that's because they're in the box and they get shipped and they get shaken around and they rub against stuff in there, the plastic and everything, and it builds up a static charge. So when you try to pull something out of the box, it just sticks to everything because of a charge. And it's insulators that do this, not conductors. The reason conductors don't do it is because if you put a charge on a conductor, it'll just flow to, you know, it'll just distribute, flow to wherever the conductor is connected to. But you can put a charge in a conductor, but it's not going to be a static charge like this, because electricity flows, right? Static means not moving. That's what static means. So if you put a charge on an insulator, it's not moving. That's static charge. Right? That's what an insulator means. It insulates against the flow of electricity. So electricity does not flow in an insulator very much. Shouldn't. But on a conductor conducts. It moves. You know, it makes things happen. It makes the electricity move through it. So in a conductor, it's just called electricity. It's just called electricity or current. In an insulator, when it gets a charge, they call it static electricity. Static meaning not moving. It's static. So that's the difference between the two. But the poor cat, he's got all those things stuck on him. Styrofoam, it says styrofoam peanuts clinging to a cat's fur due to static electricity. So, we can look up static electricity. I guess we could do that, couldn't we? I didn't even think about that. Let me see if I can bring that up. Alright, we'll look at that in a little bit. Because I got to look at, when you go to Wikipedia, you got to check it out before you put it on stream. Because you never know. You never know. Anybody can add a Wikipedia article. And sometimes they do. They do malicious stuff. And sometimes the malicious stuff is TOS for Twitch. So I gotta, before I can bring up an article, I have to make sure that it's Twitch safe. So, all right. So there's the poor little cat, and this is the triboelectric. I think it's probably tribble. Oh wait, that's double tribble effect. Triboelectric effect. Let me look up static electricity here. Let me put my mug back up here, and we'll go to static electricity. And okay. Okay, I don't see any problems there, so we'll bring that up and look at that. Now, the static electricity can be really electricity. Electricity is a discharge of static electricity. So it can be really high voltages and high current and high amounts of energy in the case of lightning. So it just says static electricity is an imbalance of electric charges within or on the surface of material. The charge remains until it can be moved away by an electric current or electrical discharge. The word static is used to differentiate it from current electricity, like I just said, where the electric flow the electric charge flows through an electric conductor. So I just explained that. A static electric charge can be created whenever two surfaces contact or slide against each other and then separate. That's the tribble electric effect or tribble electric effect. I should probably look that up and see how that's pronounced. The effect of static electricity are familiar to most people because, right, okay, so you know about that. And causes, okay, this is kind of interesting. Materials are made of atoms that are normally electrically neutral because they contain equal numbers of positive charges, protons in their nucleus, and negative charges, electrons in the shells or orbitals. The phenomenon of static electricity requires a separation of positive and negative charges. When two materials are in contact, electrons may move from one material to the other, which leaves an excess of positive charges on one material and an equal negative charge on the other. When the materials are separated, they retain this charge imbalance. It is also possible for ions to be transferred, which we were kind of doing there with those little pieces of paper. All right, that's contact there. There's tribble electric effect. We'll go to that in a little bit. Pressure induced. Okay, let's see here. I want to see if they have anything about how much. If they say how many volts. Because I advertised 12,000 volts here, which I will get to. I'll show you that on something else. But fueling operations in space, ozone crackling, energy's involved. Here we go. Okay, the energy released in a static electric charge may vary over a wide range. Yeah. The amount of the energy in joules can be calculated from capacitance of the object and the static potential volts. Right, volts is the potential, the difference in charge is the volts. And capacitance is the capacity to hold a charge. Kind of. Let's see what it says for capacity. Capacity of a material to store electric charge. See, that's what I said it right. Oh, good. All right, one experimenter estimates the capacitance of the human body. Okay, so they're talking about like if you scoot yourself across the carpet and touch a doorknob, how much discharge there is. It could be up to 20,000 volts. One of them says. This one says 50,000. So it depends. It depends on the humidity and of course how much charge you put on there. If there's too much humidity in the air, because water is partially conductive, and if there's moisture in the air, then that static electricity that's in the thing that you're that has the charge, it'll dissipate into the air, into the moisture, into the air. So I checked the humidity before we started. And before I started blowing it out in here, it was like 65. But then after I blew it out, it got below 60. So that's enough to do this kind of staticky stuff, you know. When it's really humid, these static experiments don't work too well. And like in the winter, sometimes it gets way low. The humidity gets way low around here, because the humidity just freezes out of the air, you know. And there's almost no humidity at all. It's really dry, and that's when you, like in the winter, you know, that's why you see that effect more often in the winter when you're scooting along the carpet and you touch the door. That happens more in the winter than when it's humid. So they're saying between 20,000 and 50,000. What's another? Okay, it says here that it's limited to about 35 to 40 kilovolts. That's 35 to 40,000 volts due to corona discharge, which is what I just was talking about, but that depends on the humidity. Potentials below 30,000 volts are not typically detectable by humans. Huh. Well, unless it's in a conductor. Well, then that wouldn't be static electricity. That's different. Okay, maximal potential commonly achieved in the human body range between 1 and 10,000 volts. Although in optimal conditions up to 20 to 25,000 volts. So that's when it's low humidity. Here, it says right here. Relatively low relative humidity increases the charge buildup. Walking 20 feet, okay, that's on a vinyl floor at 15% relative humidity causes a buildup voltage of 12,000 volts, while 80% humidity, the voltage is only 1.5. So yeah, at 80% humidity, you're not gonna get zapped on anything. You're not gonna get static. You're not gonna see it, any static electricity. So, okay, then they talk about the dangers and stuff. Yeah, don't do this if you're sitting around flammable material or something. I guess it's right. That's dangerous anyway. You don't want to have flammable stuff around anyway. So yeah, don't don't try this at home if you've got a can of gasoline sitting in your living room. Don't do that. And don't keep a can of gasoline in your living room. Okay. Now there's another now these can be high voltages or low voltages or whatever. But there's another way to get voltages, and that's using a transformer and using current and using various types of current electricity that will deposit a charge to usually a round globe type thing, and then that can transfer into the air, or if something gets near it, it'll spark, and that'd be like a Tesla coil will do that, like that. Look at that thing. That's a lightning simulator. So that's look at that thing. Now the way those work is they have they use an oscillator circuit that oscillates at a high frequency, 30, 40,000 cycles per second, something like that. And I'm not really sure. I don't understand the theory of operation of that. But by doing that with a certain capacitor, certain coils and stuff like that, it will create a high voltage. It kind of builds up like a voltage doubler, but many times. And then you can get these really high voltages at low current. So that's kind of cool. Now I have an actual, what I have here, there's a way you can do that with one of these things called a plasma ball or plasma globe. And that's the same kind of thing. It has a Tesla coil in there or some other flyback transformer or something that creates a high voltage. And then they fill this ball, it's a glass ball, and they fill it with an inert gas, and it will do this thing where it sparks to the edge of the ball. It has a little discharge there. And what a discharge is when oh shit, I didn't even put that up. Sorry about that. I'm sitting here talking about this and I didn't even put it up here. Did you see the other one? I don't think you did the other one either, did you? Alright, shit. Let's see here. Alright, so let's go back here. Sorry, I didn't put that up there. That's a Tesla coil. Okay, that's what that looks like. And that uses a flyback transformer, or an oscillator circuit. And they call it a Tesla coil because Tesla was the guy who invented it. He was the first one to figure that out. That if you use an oscillator circuit that oscillates an electric current at a high frequency, high in those days, 35,000, 30 to 40, 35,000 cycles per second. And then you design the coil with a proper number of turns and all that kind of stuff, and right size and all that, and then it'll build up a charge on it and that charge can dissipate into the air. That's what that's doing. It looks like they have a little bar there or something, or a little something connected to it to get it to discharge like that. See that? So, right, the other one was this plasma globe. There we go. There's the plasma globe. So that one has a little miniature Tesla coil inside there with a little ball, putting a charge on a little ball on the inside of it, and it's filled with an inert gas, and then the inert gas is able to ionize and spark, just like it's the same thing as lightning, and they get different colors by using different gases. Different gases will, when it discharges like that, it deposits a lot of energy into the atoms of the gas that's in there, and then when the gas, when those electrons fall back down to their normal point, then it emits light like that. See, it's the same way the fluorescent bulb works, except it doesn't have sparks like that. It's a little bit different. So, I guess we can show you what a real live plasma bulb looks like, and I'll do that by, let's see here, the plasma globe. Alright, there we go. Alright, so let me shut the lights off. Alright, at least this light. Let me shut this one off too. Let's see a little bit around here. I've got all these cables here and stuff. Alright, let's bring this over here. I've got this hooked up to my backup battery, so in case the power goes out, it'll still work. But this is a plasma globe. Now this one here is kind of halfway broken because it's not. It doesn't discharge all the time like that one that was in that picture we saw online. But it will. So it's trying to discharge there, and you can almost see that it's trying to. Maybe you can't see that too well. Let me turn this off. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but can you see that a little bit? Yeah, see how it's kind of they're discharging just a little bit, just a short distance in there. But if I give it something to discharge to, like my hand, then it will ionize the trail, and the electricity then will follow that trail. So watch this. See that? I'm not even touching the glass. I'm just getting it close there, which increases the capacitance, right? The potential. Increases the capacitance, and then that potential voltage difference is enough to ionize that gas inside that bulb, and then the electricity flows to that. Now I can do multiple points. If I do 2 points, you gotta do that. That's kind of cool, huh? Yeah. In focus? Yeah, that's in focus. You can see that, right? So that's kind of cool. So I was going to try a few things here. I was experimenting a little bit with it, but I'll do some more stuff. I'll try to do this. Maybe I can get this. Can you see this here? Is that in focus? It's kind of in focus, isn't it? Alright. So I was doing some experiments here. I took a bottle of water, like this. You know? You see this? Yeah, here's a bottle of water. And I stuck it on top. And that wasn't, that didn't cause any sparks to go to it. You can't really see any difference, right, when I put it on there? I don't think you can see a difference. They move a little bit different, it looks like, maybe, huh? No, I don't see any difference, really. But then as I get my hand closer to that, you see that? Okay. So as I get my hand close to that water, watch what happens when I get my hand close to the water. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I'm not even touching the water, but it's causing a discharge through the water in my hand. And then if I pull, isn't that, so now I've taken my hands completely away, but it's still discharging into that water. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why this is doing this. I just realized it's doing weird stuff to my mic. Sorry about that. Oh, that sounds kind of cool though, actually. You can still hear me, I guess. What would happen if I got my mic close to that? What would happen? Look at that. Alright. Alright, so I messed up my water. And then this is with this much water in it. But then and then with more water. Now I'm grabbing this up at the top here, up at the lid, so that it's insulated, right? I'm not close to the water, and see, it doesn't do anything, really. I don't think it makes any difference in the sound, does it? Oops! Look at that. Isn't that weird? Huh. So that didn't do anything. But then if I back up my camera here, get a little bit better angle here. Alright. So as I get close to this one, it'll do the same thing. Right? But this one, for some reason, seems to pull a little bit more out because there's more water there. And look, it's got multiple tracks there, and it actually does it a little bit better with more water in there. Look at that. Isn't that weird? And it keeps going. Because when I just set the water there by itself, it didn't do it. But it's like once you get that trail of gas in there ionized, then it'll keep going up to a point. Yeah, it's still going. Wow. Now this globe here is about 3 to 5,000 volts, I think they said in the Wikipedia article. I don't know how many it is, but now I just have it hooked up to 12 volts, or actually it's 13.4 volts right now into this thing. I have no idea what the circuit is doing, what's it doing to get that 12 volts up to 5,000 volts if it's using a flyback or a telsa-coil. It's got a little round base there, so maybe it's a telsa-coil that it's using. It's amazing. It just keeps going. But if I take it away and bring it back, let me see if it'll do it again. Oh. Isn't that weird? As soon as I give it enough to ionize a trail there, then it will keep going because that trail is ionized and the current will flow through it. That's kind of that's the way lightning works, you know. Is you get this big, huge potentials of voltage between the clouds and the ground, and as soon as there's enough there for a trail to ionize, then the current flows through it, and then you get lightning. Huge lightning. And I have a few other things here I wanted to fool around with it. These are DVD discs or CD discs or something. Here, can you see that? You know, CD discs, DVDs, whatever. And this one here, I did plasma to it. Can you see that? Look at that. That was, let me turn on one of the lights here just so you can see this. See that? How that is. Oh, it's all there's this fractals on this thing. What I did is I took a regular CD or DVD or whatever, I just stuck it in a microwave and turned it on. And all this plasma, that's what this is called, the plasma, that's why I call it a plasma globe. And it just created all kinds of sparks and plasma and everything in this thing. And it has to do with the difference. You know, it uses a conductive piece of foil on here, and there's a difference between the two. You know, between the two, and the microwaves are just the right frequency that it causes that. So I did that. And I wanted to see what this would do to this plasma globe. Oh, it does do a little bit of something there. Well, maybe that's because I'm touching it. Yeah. It's not. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything. Try putting my water on it, see what that does. There we go. Okay, so that didn't really do anything. Let's try another different ones here. Now, these are all different types. Some of them are. This one's DVD. Some of them are DVs or CDs. Some are writable or not writable or whatever. So. Oh, there we go. That one's working. Ah, see, if I don't touch it, then it doesn't do it. But if I get close enough, then it will go. Look at that. Huh. So that one works, but that other one didn't work. So let's try another one here. This is a DVD. Dash R. DVD dash R. Okay, that does it, but it's not enough to keep it going. I get my hand close to it, but it's not enough to keep it going. Let's try it upside down here, see if that makes any difference. It kind of hangs in there for a little bit. And it goes away. here. I think this is the same thing. Oh, this is a plus R, DVD plus R. I don't know if that makes any difference. No. No. Right. What else did I have here? Just some aluminum foil. Let's see what that does. Oh, that does it. Look at that. Look at that. That's working. Can you see that? I'm kind of blocking it there. There we go. So yeah, that's working. Look at that. Huh. I'm not sure what. Make sure my mic's still working. Is my mic working? Yeah, it's still working. My mic is working. Alright. So we got that. So aluminum foil that makes it do stuff. I don't know what would happen if I took the aluminum foil and cut it in half and put half on there and half. Let me try that. Oh, I got this part here. Okay. Just put a little bit on there, just see what that does. That doesn't seem to do anything until I touch it. Probably shouldn't wear my headphones while I'm doing that. Okay, I don't think you can hear this on the mic, but there's a. It's causing the aluminum foil to vibrate at probably about 12,000 hertz, something like that. 10 to 12,000. Okay. Yeah, about 9 to 10,000 hertz. The aluminum foil is vibrating. You probably can't hear that. This microphone can pick that up, but it's very faint. Yeah, that interference that we're getting from it is kind of wiping it out, so you can't really hear that. But it's that aluminum foil is vibrating. Because remember, this transformer is using a high voltage or a high frequency. So that must be a harmonic of the actual frequency. So if it's doing it third, so it could be like a third harmonic or something. That's interesting. Yeah. Glad you can't hear that. Let me put this one here. Now this one is not making a noise at all. But as soon as I touched it, then I get the spark. I mean, it may be making a noise that's higher than what I can hear. I can hear up to about 12. I'm pretty old, so I can't hear that high. Oh, there it is. There it is. You hear that? No, you can't hear that. But it's... Huh. It could also be that that this is like an antenna and it's picking up some sort of radio waves or something. But I'm in a rural area here. There's not a lot of that, strong. I'm not near a broadcast station or anything, so that's probably not what's going on. But that can happen too. Sometimes you can accidentally set up a receiver, if you have a really strong. This is kind of cool. I tried this before, and this is my. If you watch my other streams, I bought this for 50 cents at a yard sale, and the goal is to use this as a, one of these pop filters for my microphone. Peter Piper picked a pocket pickled peppers. So, and it works kind of halfway, but I gotta trim it down and stuff. But it does this thing, right? It does it makes the thing. But this was kind of cool because you can see through it, kind of. So I can show you this. Isn't that cool? See that? Oh, there, so I just messed it up now. There we go. Look at that. That is really cool. Look at that. It's a little flower there or something. It looks almost like a flower. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Is that in focus? That's kind of in focus, isn't it? A little bit. I mean, it's going to be fuzzy anyway, just because it's electricity. But does that change the? No. Oh, it quiets it down a little bit. Let me shut the light off and see how it looks a little bit better. Yeah, this should be better here. Huh. That's kind of cool. I wonder if I touch this while it's doing that, what it will do. Oh, it. Yeah. When it gets multiple discharges like that, when there are multiple discharges, what happens is that the stream itself has a charge to it, and all the streams have the same charge, right? Because they're all wired the same, so they all have the same charge, and they're trying to seek, that that high capacitance there. The high capacitance is making them work. But when there are multiple ones like that, they, like charges repel each other, so they stay away from each other. They don't go to just one thing if there are multiple ones. But when there's one point there that's a higher capacitance than anything else, then it just goes to the one point. But if it's far enough away from the bulb or from the glass, then the capacitance is kind of spread out, and then you can get multiple paths like that, and they will stay away from each other because they're equal charges. And that little flowering effect, that orange color that's a little bit different, it's a different gas in there. The blue arc, the streams there, those are one of the gases in there, and then the other is probably neon or something that makes the other orange color. And the reason they use noble gases, noble gas means that it's noble. It doesn't like to associate with others. Noble, like nobility, right? They don't like to be around the riffraff and the pagans and the ordinary people, right? So that's why they call them noble. Noble gases don't like to mix. They don't like to react and chemically react with anything else. So the reason why they use noble gases is because if they use gases that react with stuff, then this high energy from these discharges would cause chemical reactions inside there, and it would make other gases besides the gases that they wanted. So you use noble gases, and then they don't react with other gases, with anything else. That's pretty cool. Alright, so I'll turn the light back on here. Alright, so that's let me shut that off. That sounds like a 1950s science fiction sound effect. Maybe I can use that for something. I got a whole bunch of it now on audio, so I can edit that and slice and dice it and dub it into stuff that I want to. Just for fun, maybe an alert. That'd be fun once I get my alerts working. All right, so the next thing I wanted to show you was how you was a kind of a way to measure that. Kind of. Oh shit! Sorry about that. I got poked today at the hospital. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to show that on stream, but that was. Oh god! Look at that! Look at that bruise I got. I normally don't get bruises when I get stabbed. They took some blood. So, all right. So this is this right here is an electroscope, I think they call it. And it's used to detect or kind of roughly measure. Someone can more accurately measure electric charges, static electric charges. It's like what we're messing around with today, right? Static charges. So what I will do is I will look up electroscope and see if that's electroscope. There it is. hook it up and we'll talk about it a little bit, and then we'll do some experiments with it. Let me put my mug on here while I'm talking about it here. All right, so yeah, this is an early instrument. When they first, right, static electricity was known to any human, right? Humans knew about static electricity all the time, forever, since they were humans, right? Just about. And then after the, when they had the Renaissance and all that, and they stopped believing that angels caused everything, then they figured, they started doing scientific stuff, and they messed around with static electricity. Although there were like I think the Egyptians did some stuff with static electricity, but really, it was the 18th century, I think, is when they really started getting into this stuff. We started messing around with electricity, and doing real experiments and stuff like that. So it says the electroscope is an early scientific instrument used to detect the presence of electric charge on a body. It detects charge by the movement of a test object due to the Coulomb electrostatic force on it. The amount of charge on an object is proportional to its voltage. Coulomb just is what we were just talking about. That's just the electrostatic force, that makes, like those remember the little pieces of paper that were jumping up and stuff like that? That's the Coulomb. It's electromagnetism is the prime fundamental interaction, the fundamental force. But when they're talking about things being attracted and pushed away from each other, then they call it Coulomb force, I think. Let me see what it says here. Make sure I'm not lying to you. Inverse square law is an experimental law of physics that calculates the amount of force between two electric charged particles at rest. Yeah, that's the force, the actual stuff that's going to cause it to move. The accumulation of enough charge to detect with an electroscope requires hundreds or thousands of volts. So electroscopes are used with high voltage sources such as a static electricity, which is what we're messing around with here. High voltage stuff, right? High voltage. That's what we're doing tonight. And electrostatic machines. Electroscope can only give a rough indication of the quantity of charge. An instrument that measures electric charge quantitatively is called an electrometer. Electroscope was first, okay, we don't need to know the history of it, right? We don't need to know that. So you got all kinds of different ones here. Okay, and this is the one we're going to use today. The gold leaf electroscope. Gold leaf electroscope was developed in 1787 by Abraham Bennett as a more sensitive instrument than a pith ball or straw blade. So we skipped over those. Consists of a vertical metal rod, usually brass, from the ends of which hang two parallel. You gotta love Wikipedia, right? You gotta love the way they. From the ends of which hang two parallel strips of thin, flexible gold leaf. It doesn't have to be gold leaf. It can be aluminum. It doesn't have to be gold. A disc or ball terminal is attached to the top of the rod where the charge to be tested is applied. Okay, they're enclosed in a glass bottle so they don't get blown around. Usually open at the bottom, mounted over a conductive base. I didn't do that, but okay. So it's just talks about it here. Oh, here's somebody who's using an electroscope. Oh, his is a little bit different. His has got a little dial on it and stuff. I've seen that one before. Maybe we'll get to that later. Can also be charged without touching charge to the terminal through electrostatic induction. Right. All right, so let's play. Basically, it's just you got two. Right, you got a thing in a jar, and you got two metal leaves here hanging, And when you put a charge on it, depending upon what the charge is, it makes the opposite charge here. And this is all conductive, right? This is all from the top here all the way down to the bottom is a conductor. So when you put something with static charge on it near it, those static charges will cause the electrons to flow in this thing. And see what they're doing? So they're putting let's say a positive charge up here. And normally all the charges in here are mixed up, right? But it's a conductor, so they can move very easily in this thing, but normally they're all just equal. And when you move this rod towards it, this is a plus rod. They're moving it with a plus charge to this. And what it does is it causes all the pluses that are up here and in here to move away from that, because light charges repel each other. So all the pluses go down here. They repel. And opposites attract. So the minus charges go up to the top, towards the thing. And usually what that is it's just, these are electrons. Minus is electrons. And pluses are, they call them holes when it's in a conductor. But it just means an atom that's missing an electron. Or a spot where an electron could be. So that's how that works. So now let's play with this. Now I'll actually do it. So I've got a thing here. Let me make sure I've got. Okay. All right, we still got audio. So I built this thing. This is an electroscope I built some time ago. It's a pickle jar. And this lid is from something else, but I glued it to the top here, and I just took a battery cable and clipped it and run it through the jar, the lid. And then I put, this is that desiccant, these little, what is this, silicon or something? It's a desiccant that comes with electronics that you get in the mail and whatnot. It just takes moisture out of the air, because I wanted not to have a lot of moisture inside this jar when I was working with it. And I just took 2 pieces of aluminum and cut them. I don't know if you can see that or not. Can you see those little two pieces of aluminum in there? That are just hanging from that wire. That's basically all there is. So let me see if I can get this to I don't know if this isn't really set up to do this, but yeah, I can only get it so far. Alright, that's okay, we'll get this here. I'll try to get all of it in at the same time here, so you can see what's going on. Or you can see that kind of, can't you? Yeah. Alright, so we've got a wire with a battery cable, and I just have the leads out here, which now that I think about it, this actually probably causes it to discharge a little bit more quickly than it normally would, but it still works. And then I have 2 pieces of aluminum foil touching each other, or hanging inside there. Now it's kind of got jiggled around, and they've got bent a little bit, so it doesn't work quite as good as when I first built it, but it should work. Now I have a piece of vinyl which has a charge on it. We can look up what that is here. Let me look this up real quick. I'll bring this up so you can see. So different material wants to be certain charges. So negative stuff, PVC, vinyl, that kind of thing, polyester, rubber, that has a negative charge according to this chart. And then skin, leather, glass, hair, wool, cat fur, remember the cat, has a positive charge. So like that cat that we had a picture of, remember that cat? His fur was more positive, and the polymers in the little popcorn balls were negative, so they attracted to his fur. See, and when you rub these things together, if you rub this stuff together with this stuff, the negative will pass its positive to the positive, and the positive will pass any negative it has to the negative. So they separate the charge. When you put stuff at the top here with stuff on the bottom, they separate their charges, and that's what I'm doing. I'm taking paper, which has more of a negative charge, or more negative than PVC, and I'm actually rubbing these two together. I'm rubbing paper and PVC together, and that's enough to have them separate because they're two different charges. This is more of a neutral charge, paper, and PVC is more of a negative charge. So I've got a piece of, whoops, let's get back here. So I've got a piece of, just a piece of vinyl. I don't know what it is. Vinyl something. I don't know where it's from. And just a piece of paper I ripped off from a paper bag. Right? So when I rub these together, I just rub them together a little bit. And that will put a charge on this vinyl. And when I get it close to the to these things, they should get my mic out of the way so when I get it close to this here, they should move, I hope. There it is. See how they moved? Yeah, it's not working quite as well. They're not freely on there so much, but you can see moving a little bit. You can see that, right? Yeah, see? Let me charge this up again. And move it towards it. Oh yeah, there's a big charge now. I'm not even getting that close to it, and there's a big charge. That one leaf is kind of stuck there. It's not... I can shake that loose. And there we go. See that? So that's an electroscope. So what's happening there is the negative, this thing has a negative charge. This vinyl here has a negative charge. So when it gets to this conductor here, which is conductive all the way from this top here, all the way down to those gold leaves, and electricity can flow through that if it wants to. And so when I get this close to that, the negative charge in this plastic pushes the negative charges that were evenly distributed in this metal, in this conductor, all the way down into those plates. And so if both plates get a negative charge, then they each have negative. And a negative, those want to repel each other, and that's why it does that. Or a positive, rather. Yeah, negative. That's right. Yeah, the negative flows away from each other, and the positive flows up to this point up here. I want to do that. I got to charge this back up again. There we go. See that? So that's kind of cool, huh? And now there's another thing that you can do. You can put a what I can do is I can charge it up. First, let me discharge it through my body. I touch that, it discharges it through my body. And then I charge this up. I don't know if this is going to work on this thing because I've got those things aren't working too well. But I bring this up to it really close and get them separated. Then I'll discharge this. And then pull this away. No, it didn't get it. Okay, it's not going to work. I don't think it'll work. There's not enough. It's not sensitive enough because those things are bent in there. I'll have to take that apart one of these days and fix it. There, you got a little bit. So there's a little bit of a charge in there. So now it has a positive charge because I pushed all the negatives, minuses down there, the negative charge down into the leaves. Then I discharged it. Which made it all even again. Then I pulled this thing away, pulled the plastic away, which was a negative charge away, and the negatives came back up, which left a net positive down in those leaves. So think about, yeah, if I touch it, it's really hard to see here because that thing's kind of screwed up. That would be a project I could do on stream one time, is build one of these things, just to show you how it's done. It's not that, I mean, it's pretty simple, right? You could build this yourself just by knowing what it is, right? Let's try this again here. So get it separated, discharge, and then see, it went a little bit, and I discharge it. Alright, so get it really close, really separated, discharge it, and then pull it away. Yeah, there's a little bit. You can see it. Right? And I touch it, and it should discharge. Yeah, it's kind of... Anyway, it's kind of a fun thing. It's a fun project you can do, is to make one of these things. And experiment with all these different, different material and stuff like that. So a lot of fun. Now, I've done some experiments with this. You're supposed to be able to, once you have it charged up, it discharges over time, and you can use this to detect radioactivity. Which is what I started out with. I wanted to see if I could detect radioactivity with something. And I tried exposing this to different... Once I had it charged up, then I exposed the whole thing to different light. I even put it out in the sun and different stuff, and nothing seems to affect it. But if you hit it with real high energy, like X-rays or gamma rays, which is like nuclear radiation, is what I was trying to detect, then it would discharge more quickly because those are higher energy. So that's kind of cool. That's an electroscope, it's called. And it uses this, different. So you can experiment with all these different things. I've tried it with hair. I've tried all types of different things just to try rubbing different things together to see what, if I get a positive or a negative and that sort of thing, and then mess around with it. And when you rub two material together like that, that's what's called the triboelectric or triboelectric effect. Let's see, static electricity, we had that. And the cat. There we get the cat. Well, how come that isn't... There we go. There's the cat. So, that's a good photograph. It tells a story. Photographs that tell a story are really cool. That tells a story, right? Just looking at you, you laugh because you know you know what the story is behind the photo, right? You know, so that's kind of funny. Cats like to play in boxes, and there you go. There's the story. All right, kind of. See what it has. Electroscope. I did that. Oh, let's look at this thing. All right, this guy has a real fancy electroscope now. He's got a little bulb or whatever up here, and his little electrode goes down into here, and then he has plates that are balanced. You know, he's got them here so that they're almost evenly balanced. This one's just a little bit heavier than that one, and then he has 2 plates down here. So this thing is really just designed to be a really cool electrode. Let me make it full. We'll do that, and I'll just show you what he does here. I don't think there's any sound in this. So that's basically what I was just doing, right? Yeah. There. Now he's able to do it. When I remember I was trying to I moved the thing close to it, and then I tried to discharge it with my hand, and then pull the thing away and get it. And his electroscope was more sensitive, and it's and they didn't get banged around and stuff, so it works better than mine. But you can see here. So he's messing around with different material. Yeah, okay, I guess that's it. So that's just another form of electroscope. What else? Is there anything that I missed here? Oh, we look at the design of a telsa-coil. That's what I didn't. Let's see what this says here. It says unipolar telsa-coil circuit. C2 is not an actual capacitor, but represents the capacitance of the secondary winding L2 plus the capacitance to ground of the toroid electrode E. All right, so you get an AC. This is so it's already you set up the high frequency here. This is AC voltage coming through here, high frequency, apparently, and then it goes through a transformer, which steps it up. Right, more winding on this side than that side, so it's stepping up the voltage. And they've got a capacitor. I don't know what SG is. And a coil here that they adjust. Oh, maybe this is like an oscillator circuit right here. So it looks like he's got it here, and then this is an oscillator here too. So maybe this makes it high voltage or high frequency. Yeah. So they're saying this C2 is just the invisible capacitance, right? The whatever this is discharging to. Or the capacitance between this and space, or whatever. So that's kind of interesting. So it's 2 stages. It steps up here and it steps up here. Let me see what it says here. What it says about it. Operation. Here we go. A telsa-coil is a radio frequency oscillator that drives an air core double-tuned resonant transformer to produce high voltages at low currents. Tesla's original circuit and most modern coils use a simple spark gap. Oh, SP. Okay, SG was the spark gap. Okay, that's what that was. Spark gap to excite oscillations in the tuned transformer. More sophisticated designs use transformer or thyristor switches or vacuum tube electronic oscillators to drive the resonant transformer. Tesla coils can produce output voltages from 50,000 volts to several million volts for large coils. Yeah, and you don't want to use a spark gap also because you can really mess up. Spark gaps make a lot of noise, electromagnetic noise, which is bad. You will mess up, the frequency spectrum, radio spectrum. So people can't use radios and stuff if you do that. So you probably don't want to use a spark gap anyway. Or kind of like what I was doing when I had my globe sitting here. Remember, it was making that noise through my microphone and stuff. That's what it's doing. But this, when you use a spark gap, it can be a real high, a lot of power, and it can mess up radios throughout. It just splatters throughout the whole spectrum. So you don't want to use spark gap. Tesla coils can produce output voltages from 50 kilovolts. So the alternating current output is the low radio frequency rate. The alternating current output is the low radio frequency range, usually 50 hertz to 1 megahertz. Okay, so that's a higher frequency than what my plasma globe was using. Although some oscillator-driven coils generate a continuous alternating current, most Tesla coils have a pulsed output. The high voltage consists of a rapid string of pulses of radio frequency alternating current. Okay, they show that down here somewhere. Whoa, look at that one. Wow. Whoa, look at that one. Solid state Tesla coil. This is a big long article. I'm gonna scan this really quick so I can go. Okay. The world's largest Tesla. Look at this. The world's largest Tesla coil. Builder Eric Orr is visible sitting inside the hollow spherical high voltage electrode. What? Oh my goodness. Look at that. Oh, I see. He's sitting in here. Is that what they're saying? Let's see this here. Oh, they don't have a high resolution. It says you can see him in there, but I can't see him. Let's see. Small later type Tesla coil in operation. The output is giving 43 centimeter, 17-inch sparks. The power source is 10,000 volts, 60 hertz, current limited supply. Huh. Okay. Okay, so here's one without. Well, that's got a spark gap too. Those are a couple of different spark gaps. I don't know what that is. Oh wait, here's a video. Let's do this. Okay. Tesla coil in terrarium. Look at that one. That's cool. Look at that. Wow. What's that? Is that... Oh, these are different designs from way back when. That one's solid state. 10-foot arcs. Look at that one. 10-foot arcs on this thing. You've probably seen these, right? If you look up telsa-coil or something like that, you'll find cool YouTube videos of people who've done stuff with these things. So I'm not going to do this on stream because this is dangerous. These because you're actually making high voltage current, so if you touch it, it can electrocute you. So I'm not doing that. I just did static electricity tonight. Maybe one day I'll do the experiment with the DVD in the microwave, because that's kind of cool. That looks kind of cool. Let's see, was there anything? Oh, flyback transformer. That was the other one. This is not as... Yeah, this one's not as... Flyback transformer is another one that can make a really high voltage. And it's used... This is funny. Modern CRT television flyback transformer with integral tripler. It's modern CRT. I don't think they make CRTs anymore, so I don't know how that can be a modern thing. Old flyback transformer producing arc. I messed around with those things when I was a kid, which was really stupid, but that's what teenagers do, right? They don't make smart decisions. Fortunately, I didn't electrocute myself. I was careful enough that I didn't shock myself. But yeah, you take apart an old TV. I took apart an old, big color TV. Had a huge flyback transformer in it, and I was, used screwdrivers or anything else, to make it discharge. It was pretty wild. All right. Electroplasma. Okay, I think we covered everything here. All right, so that was our experiments today. It wasn't really, they weren't real experiments. It wasn't, let's test a hypothesis type of experiment. I was just playing around with stuff tonight. But it was still fun to look at it and ask questions and figure out what we had a lot of unanswered questions, but we could still, a lot of answered questions too. So. All right, I guess that's it. And my hair, look at my hair. I just washed my hair. This came out kind of frizzy because of the static. All right. So 12,000 volts. I don't know if it's 12,000 volts. It was at least those. When I was testing that electroscope, that was at least 12,000, I think. We're below 60% humidity, and so that was quite a bit, I think. So we had at least 12,000 volts there. We probably had close to 20,000, maybe even more on that. And then the plasma globe was 3,000 to 5,000. So I wasn't false advertising, right? I had 12,000 in there. All right, so we're a little over an hour and a half into this thing. And I don't have enough to rate anybody. I don't see anybody rate anyway. It has, yeah, I don't have enough energy to do it. All right, so I appreciate everybody coming and watching the VOD and watching the stream. If you're watching this on the VOD, please get to Twitch. Give me a follow on Twitch. And maybe one day I'll make be an affiliate and be able to do more stuff on a channel. So, appreciate you coming, and everybody take care. Make sure you wear your N95 mask. That's another thing. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. Gotta remind me. These the filters on these N95 masks and on that filter that I showed you earlier in the stream. This filter here. These filters that you get at for your HVAC system, whatever, your ventilation system. They work with electrostatic charges, just like what we were working with today. That's what I forgot to talk about. I was going to talk about this. So this is an electrostatic filter, the same as the filter in your N95 mask. And the way those work is they make little teeny fibers. They do something called melt blown. It's a non-woven fabric, and it makes really teeny tiny fibers that are just like nanometers wide, like I don't know, maybe 100 nanometers or something. Less than a micron. Really small fibers, and you put a whole bunch of them in there and layer them over and over and over. So when air flows through the filter, any particles that are in the air get attracted through a static electricity, just like those little pieces of paper that I picked up earlier with the tape. It's the same thing. When the particles go through the material, they get close to those tiny threads, and static electricity makes them stick to it. And it doesn't take electricity to make electrostatic filter work. It just uses the static electricity that's in the material. Some manufacturers of filters will, when the material is first being formed, the melt blown material is first being formed in the factory, they will put an electric charge potential through it. They put like a plus on top and a minus on the bottom, and when the fibers come through, it'll help orient the molecules, the polymers inside the plastic, so that they will have a stronger electric charge. But some of them don't even bother doing that, because you can still get up to really high efficiencies even if you don't do that. But I don't know. And they have a charge on them, and even molecules, even particles that don't have a charge, that end up that go through the filter, will still stick to it, because remember we were showing how getting a charge next to something will cause the charges in that material to separate from plus to minus. The same thing happens with a particle. Particle comes in, gets near the electric charge of those little fibers, and the charges in the particle will separate. So you got pluses and minuses in the particle, and then it will stick to it. So, or like if it's a water molecule that's already polarized, if it comes to it, a little bit of water, it'll flip. It'll actually flip the molecules so that they will stick. So that's how those work. And it's really important to wear your mask. I know a lot of people are not bothering to wear their mask now. You really need to wear your mask, your N95 mask, when you go out. We're still in a pandemic. Hundreds of people are dying every day from COVID and the flu and all kinds of stuff. You're more likely to die from not wearing an N95 mask when you go out than you are to die from not wearing your seatbelt in your car. Think about that. So if you wear your seatbelt, you should be wearing your mask. It's not even close. It's like 8 to 10 times more likely to die from not wearing your N95 mask than you are to die from not wearing your seatbelt in your car. So please buckle up, wear your N95 mask when you're in public, and there you go. And you save your life, and you save somebody else's life too. You know, because if you don't catch the bug, then you can't pass it on to somebody else and kill somebody else. You know, and that's what happens. If you don't wear a mask, you get infected, and then you will kill somebody. You will kill somebody with your germs because you're not wearing a mask. So yeah, especially at large gatherings, because you know, if you're at a large gathering with hundreds of people, then for sure somebody in that gathering's got COVID, right? And they'll spread it to people, and people will die. If you go to a large gathering and you're not wearing a mask, then people will die because of that, because you're not wearing your mask. So if you care about life, if you care about people, wear your mask, man. You know, okay? So, all right, everybody, that's enough. So I explained a lot about static electricity and how masks work, how a lot of different things work. And if you have any questions, you can ask them. I got AMA, ask me anything, and I'll answer the questions. If you have any questions even when you're watching the VOD, you can just contact me through Twitch or on on YouTube. I've got a VOD channel on YouTube where I put all the archived VODs, so you can ask questions there too, anywhere. All right, all done. So everybody take care, wear your masks, and have fun. Bye.